Do you have dry and dull skin? Well, we have the solution for you. With Indira Skincare's facial oils, you can strengthen your skin's barrier to trap moisture and hydrate your skin to reveal a beautiful and natural glow. And when I say glow, honey, I mean glow. Also, there's the vibrating pink jade face roller that is used to stimulate facial oil absorption while reducing fine lines and wrinkles with an extension to depuff and reduce dark circles under your eyes. Endura Skincare is not only here to reveal your natural glow, we are here to help our community. As you know, I lost my best friend Maciel due to domestic violence back in April, which inspired me to help women in similar situations through a nonprofit organization, Her Justice. Her Justice stands with women living in poverty in New York City by recruiting and mentoring volunteer lawyers to provide free legal help to address issues such as individual and systemic legal barriers. Unlike Maciel, their clients, about 80% of them, whom are survivors of intimate partner violence, have urgent legal needs in the areas of family, matrimonial, and immigration law. By engaging in advocacy, partnering with community based organizations, and leveraging the pro bono power, Her Justice is working to close that gap to access to justice, particularly for survivors of intimate partner violence and gender based violence. Now, Marcia loved the rose formula and used it daily on her face and her body, okay? Proceeds from the purchase of the rose formula will go to Her Justice to help fight injustices placed against women. With every purchase of the rose formula, you will be supporting women who are struggling in so many ways. This is my way for Masi to give back in spirit. So I want you to go to indiraskincare.com to make your purchase today. And you also can find out more information about how you can support Her Justice. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Where Did I Put My Glasses? I am your host, Carmen, and I am back with my beautiful, spiritual, amazing friend, Brittany. Say
Hi.
hello.
Hello, everybody.
So last week we didn't get to continue talking about how she uses her alignment with herself and her purpose to find out the best ways that you can align with your purpose for whether you want to rent or buy. And we were getting into it. And Brittany was also giving us some good advice on why you should or when you should buy. She told you necessarily, I can't tell you when. I can suggest based on the connection we make. This is for you. But before we get started, please give the people your handle again.
It is a realtor Brittany Wise, and I am on Instagram, Facebook, or you can message Carmen directly, and she will give you my number if you are a serious inquiry.
Yes. And they also work with around the United States and internationally, right? Your company.
Yes, and I forgot to mention the biggest, most exciting thing about my company is we also partner with a nonprofit organization called
Mm,
Partners in Housing Solutions. Carmen, are you
mm.
familiar with that nonprofit?
No, can you please let me know?
Yeah, so I can't believe I didn't mention this before. I think we just connected and we were talking. So I am so happy to say that my company that I work with now partners with Partners in Housing Solutions. So what they do is they assist people that are experiencing homelessness. and they help them secure permanent housing. We're actually in the process with a few people who have had their kids taken away, and there's always different situations, and it may seem, oh, why did they get their kids taken away? And it's like there's things that happen. Well, anyways, this nonprofit has helped this couple, Drea and Chris, with getting their kids back, and they're actually in the process of securing a permanent home. So it's really exciting because this year we're on a mission to raise $10,000 for that nonprofit organization. So not only when you work with me, you're going to be working with an amazing agent that cares for you, obviously, but we're both going to be able to give back to our community, which is so important to me because it's funny because people ask me like, okay, so you do real estate because of money. It's like, well, I do it because it's a job. But
Mm-hmm.
my ultimate reason for doing this is because, you can believe me or you can't, whatever.
I'm sure they believe you. If you listen to our episodes, I'm sure they are
but
fully
I,
aware that your
yeah,
intentions are genuine.
but I will say that, I do this because I really have a passion for helping people. And this is my ultimate way of giving back and helping people. I can't, so I've closed on like 5 transactions. And before that,
Mm-hmm.
I was assisting my broker who is blind. He's also a very amazing person. I will say his name is Matt Walker, and he is amazing. Just the best person you can meet out there and so inspirational. But anyways, I have helped so many people, and giving them the key, that feeling when you give them the keys and they walk into their home and their life it's like a new chapter. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm like the realtor of Santa Claus. I know
Yeah.
it sounds lame, but I feel
No.
it's just because I always tell people like being a homeowner is not just a title, it's a feeling. You feel it. Like it's your whole life is going to be changed. And that to me is like the best feeling ever, to be able to help people with that.
And I could only imagine because I'm pretty sure everyone is aware of the houselessness crisis here in California. Like, tent cities are real. People are not able to afford homes. They are losing their children. They're losing their jobs, and it is hard. I live in the Bay, and seeing the people on the street and just it pours my heart out. And people are like, well, if they can get a job or they can do this and they can. Sometimes you can work 3 or 4 jobs and still not be able to afford the rent in your area,
Yeah.
and may not even be able to afford to move to another area. How do you know you got?
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many factors that play a part into becoming a houseless or a homeless person that people do not realize.
Yeah.
And I really I commend your company, your agency, for doing such a selfless act, not only helping people find a home, their perfect home, but also making sure people have a home. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And that is one of there was a few other reasons why I joined this specific company, but when they told me that, I was like, well, I was a CASA before. So CASA is a court appointed special advocate for kids dealing with, parents that are on drugs, or parents that are living with their grandparents because their parents so it's a whole thing,
Mhm.
with domestic violence solutions and all of that, but which I was a big part of. So it kind of goes alongside that. And, just to be a part of a company that is so family oriented, the training is amazing. There's just so many factors on why I feel like I'm at where I'm at because of
Mhm.
everything in my life. And that also just goes with my spirituality and, talking with other people. But if you're an age, or if you are looking to impact lives and you feel like you are interested in doing real estate, you can definitely hit me up too. I'm more than happy to discuss with you, like, on the process, what you need to do, how to study for the exam, because the exam is hard, I will say. But I'm very happy to say that I was maybe a couple months after having Miles, and my son was like maybe 2 months, that I passed the test, where other agents who study for the exam, they may not have passed. So if you're interested in maybe going the real estate world, I can definitely assist you with that. Or maybe I help you find out what else you want to do. I've always thought
Yeah,
like maybe if I'm not a real estate agent, I would be like some sort of life coach, not for
I can
myself, but for other people.
I can see that. And most life coaches like have life coaches, believe it or not. Did you know that? That most life coaches have life coaches, just like most psychologists have psychologists.
Makes
Like you
sense.
need that person.
Yeah.
And like I love that you were a corner pointed person for children who are battling homelessness or
Mm-hmm.
living with a parent or even with domestic violence, because I'm not sure if you realize that Indira's has partnered with her justice out of New York City for
Mm-hmm.
it's a nonprofit agency who helps provide law services for individuals, like especially women living in poverty in New York City, by recruiting and mentoring volunteer lawyers to
Mm-hmm.
provide free legal help to like address issues such as like individual and systematic legal barriers.
Yeah.
And their clients are usually about 80% women who are survivors of intimate partner violence, and
Mm-hmm.
they have urgent legal needs. And what inspired me was Masi's case and how she didn't get the help that she needed, how this justice system failed her. And
Mm-hmm.
partnering with her justice has really been such a great opportunity for me, because I want people who are survivors of intimate partner violence, and especially women and their children, to
Mm-hmm.
have someone who can be there for them, especially when it comes to family, matrimonial, and immigration law. And they provide that advocacy, and they partner with different community-based organizations, so and providing pro bono power. um
Yeah. And I will say though that when I heard about your story and your friend, it broke my heart because Leah and I had a really good friend that unfortunately passed away from an ex. So
mhm,
very similar to yours, just
mhm,
slightly different. Um, he's in jail right now, so he's still alive.
mhm.
Whereas yours, he's
You got justice,
not
sort
necessarily.
of.
He's still in jail and he is awaiting a trial. With COVID,
Good.
it's really pushed it back. So we also have bonded on that. Not that it's
Mhm.
a positive thing, but
But it feels good, guys, to have someone who understands what you're going through.
yeah. And I will say though that domestic violence, whether it be in a relationship or family or environment or whatever, I've always been drawn to that because I grew up in a very domestic violence home. And I think that that's where my passion to help people comes from,
Mhm.
and my passion to be like a court appointed social advocate. And it always draws me back to that. So if you are experiencing any sort of that, if you have questions, if you feel like you're in a relationship, or if you're in a home with family that you feel is maybe, because when you're a product of your environment, right? You
Mhm.
may not realize, because I didn't realize that there was domestic violence until I was taken out of my home. So I was taken out of my home when I was in junior high. I had no idea. Yes, you're of age, you're older, but when you live in a home like that, that's where you learn love, that's where you learn, violence. That's that you're
You learn
learning
everything.
habits.
You
Yeah.
All your learning habits start at home, and
Mhm.
then they translate to your school environment. So your home and your school environment is very crucial for your early years.
Exactly. And then it coincides with you being in other relationships with other people.
Exactly.
So I will tell you, these past few years, I've learned so much, and I know this is like going beyond real estate, but
No, because we've touched on spirituality and buying. I feel like we are talking into the purchase of self and the purchase of home, in these
oh,
two
I like
episodes,
that.
right? We are purchasing, we
Oh,
are we are giving information and knowledge on how to be better selves and how to
you're seeing your worth.
build yourself, your worth, not only just financially and buying something that belongs to you, but belonging to you and buying something that belongs to you. Bam.
Exactly. And I just will say that I didn't realize so many things that I wish I would have realized quite a long time ago. And I think therapy, regardless of age, regardless if you feel you're happy, you're not happy, I feel like therapy is an amazing thing. I feel like, getting a life coach is an amazing thing. Life coach and a therapist are very different. Life coach focuses on the future, whereas therapist focuses on the past. And I think
I
both
have a
are very beneficial.
I have a therapist. I've been in therapy for years, guys, and I will honestly tell you that it has made me a better person. And if I didn't have therapy, I wouldn't be where I am now. So I'm truly appreciative of therapy. I'm ready for a life coach though.
See, I was the opposite. I did the life coach and now I'm ready for the therapy because I feel like I need to deal with a lot of my past that I didn't. So we're like on the same path, but just different journeys.
Oh, and I don't want to cut you off, but I do want to let people know that because of we were talking about the nonprofit agency, you was letting us know how your company contributes to homelessness, and I want to let you know. For those of you who listen, Indira Skincare is my skincare company, and we have facial oils and also a vibrating roller to help with improving elasticity and skin care absorption into your skin and making sure the moisturizers are doing what they need to do. And Macio's favorite formula was the rose formula. So with every purchase of the rose formula goes to her justice, which helps fight injustices placed against women. And so just know that with every purchase you make of the rose formula, you will be supporting women who are struggling in so many ways. So this is our way to give back and for Masi to give back to the world, and her spirit. So
I love it.
I want to thank you guys in advance for your purchases, because you will be not only buying a formula that will help improve your skin health and improve your complexity and the moisturization and absorption of your skin, but you will also be helping women who are suffering inequalities, people who are suffering inequalities due to gender, domestic violence, and also offering assistance to those who are oppressed and allowing them to achieve solace. So I just want to put that out there. I digress.
I love it.
Back to you, my love.
I love it. No, I love it. And
Go to EnduraSkincare.com.
I didn't know you were doing that. And I will say that I use, I don't have the rose one yet. I have just the regular
Maracuja.
I have the combo skin. But I will tell you, even when I am intoxicated at night, which is very rare, but I still make sure to put it on, because if I don't put it on the next day, my skin is just eh. So I will say I have personally used her skin product and it has helped immensely. It's like heaven in a jar.
It's skin magic, guys, and people don't realize it's really skin magic. If you need some skin magic, go to Indira's. I didn't mean to talk about that, but I think you talking about how your agency has improved the community. I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm not one up or anything, but I almost forgot to discuss what I was doing to help the community and how to build the community, because sometimes I don't like to discuss what I'm doing out there, and I need to let people know.
You do. Yeah. I agree. It's important, and it's not some product that you just like are, selling. It's an actual really good product, and it's the rose one. I mean, I didn't realize that. Girl, you got to tell me that too. I would have purchased a long time ago if I knew it was going to a very, very great cause, which
it really is.
I think that when people realize like what it's actually going to, it makes them be like, okay, I'm getting a great product for one, and then two, it's going for a great cause. Because for me, I'm always like, okay, I'm going to purchase this tonight, and then I forget, and then I'm going to purchase this tonight, and then I forget. And it's like,
No. So go to EnduraSkincare.com, guys, and purchase your rose formula so you can help those who are in need, who are oppressed, who are suffering inequality in this world.
I just think that there are a lot of women and men out there that don't speak up. There's many reasons. One is they think it's normal, because I grew up that way and I thought that that's how love was. I would constantly hear my parents fight. I actually heard physical fighting, and I grew up to think that that was actual reality. And luckily for me, I went through therapy at a very young age and realized that that's not love. I'm still learning. Obviously, we all are on a journey. And then there's another reason why they don't leave, is because they're scared. And it's like, that's a very big thing. And I think that if they knew that there were more people out there that would protect them, um, anything that you guys tell us is going to be confidential.
Yes.
As a current, as not a current, but a past court appointed advocate, I was mandated to keep everything confidential. So anything you tell me, it's going to be confidential. And obviously, Carmen is going to be.
I'm a mandated reporter.
Yeah.
But I am a speech therapist, and people don't realize sometimes speech therapists, we do act as sometimes therapists to families. And one thing any of my friends can tell you, I don't tell people's business. I'm not in the business of telling people's business, but I am in the business of helping you get through whatever it is that you need to get through. So like I said, we are here.
And even if it's just like a text message or like a message on Instagram saying like venting, like you feel like you need to vent, like go ahead and do that, because maybe you think you're venting, but it's actually something serious. Because my, good friend who unfortunately passed away would consistently tell us that her ex was a stalker, and he would tell her this, and we would tell her like, you need to leave, and the justice system failed her as well. She put in a lot of orders to protect her, and they denied them, which we tried everything we could, but we didn't realize how the severity of the issue. And I think that's the thing, is that victim, that person, and I don't like to call them victims, but they are.
But they are.
That person doesn't realize how serious this matter is. And if we can get ahead of it, you may be someone we don't even know. That's okay. Like, we're very open people. We just want to make sure, coming from two people that have experienced really good friends in our lives who have passed away,
Exactly.
it means a lot to us for us to make sure that that doesn't happen again, regardless of who you are.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I feel like I feel like she, and I know this sounds weird, but I feel like that's what she wants me to do.
That doesn't sound weird at all. I
That's what she
feel
wants me
like
to do.
that would be exactly what she's telling you.
Because and that's what made me reach out to her, Justice, too, because I was like, what, I really feel like that's what she wanted me to do, and she wants me to do, because she was in a situation where she stayed for so long for financial reasons, and then we worked together as a team to get her to where she needed to be, so she was able to leave, and he could not fathom the thought that she was able to get out on her own and do it herself, and then the justice system failed her. So the inability to take care of herself forced her to stay. But then when she was able to take care of herself with the help of her loved ones, myself and other people who were able to help her get to where she needs to be and find a position that allowed her to pay for what she needed to pay for to get to where she needed to, he couldn't take it. So he's like, let me just take her life, and then took his like a coward. So people, if you
So
don't
how do you feel about that? See, I struggle because my good friend, she shot my friend, or he shot my friend, and he's still alive in jail, whereas yours killed himself. So it's like, how do you feel? Because I don't know how to feel. Like, I don't know if it would have been better if he did it. Like, I do feel that way. I don't know. It's tough. How do you feel?
I feel like he got the easy way out. Because jail is a hard place. My brother's a corrections officer, as you know. I always tell you all the time. And jail, mentally and physically, especially in the United States, breaks you. It's not a place of rehabilitation. When you
Okay.
go to jail in the United States, you are not sent there to be rehabilitated.
Okay.
It's literally, you're in a holding cage. You're an animal. They treat you as such in the United States. And he deserved that. He deserved to be treated that way. Not all people in the system deserve it, because there are
Right.
people who are incarcerated for reasons that they shouldn't be, or have been
Exactly.
wrongly convicted, or
Mm-hmm.
or just been treated in some sort of injustice or inequality that forced them to be where they are.
The
You know what I
people
mean?
that
But the
deserve to be
people
there.
who are actually animals and deserve to be there
Mm-hmm.
deserve that type of treatment. And I
Okay.
feel like he is one of those people who deserves to be treated the way that they are treated. Who people,
Okay.
you know what I mean? I feel like
Yeah.
for one person who doesn't deserve to be there, I would rather them be out and him placed in that spot so he can go through that turmoil for the rest of his life. But instead, he got the easy way out. And I feel like, I hope he's in, and I'm not religious in any way, so I'm not going to pretend I am, but I hope he's in purgatory.
See, I struggle because my view, after listening to you, I feel a different way. But
Mm-hmm.
my view was like, okay, this person that killed the child, or the mother of his child,
Mm-hmm.
okay, he is still in jail. Okay, he's living. One, he's able to breathe. He's able to get 3 meals a day. See, I was thinking like a different level, but like, it's hard because it's like, man, I wish that he would have just outdone himself, so he would just have, been
When you're
done.
dead, it's easy. You're done.
But
There's no,
then,
you are no
but
longer suffering.
You're right, because he's done too, and I just think of like, it's so true. Like, I'm kind of glad that he's there, and if he ever gets out, I don't know what I do, but it's good that he's in there because it's not easy, and I hope that he gets served life.
Suffering. Being stripped of your basic human rights and being oppressed as a human being is the worst thing you could ever do to someone. Death is easy. Death is easy. Sorry, guys, we got really morbid for you guys.
No, this is a deep combo, but
This got deep. I mean,
kind of
you never know. Someone listening to this today may have needed this.
Yeah, it's interesting for me because we have had a similar situation, but differences in the
Outcomes.
ending. And I literally have struggled with either side. And it's really interesting to hear your point of view on the ending of your side, because it really opens my eyes of like, okay, well, she feels this way for an obvious reason. Like, it opens my eyes. I'm like, okay, then maybe it is a good thing that this person, who does not deserve a name to be called in general, I'm glad
No,
that
put that
he's
monster's name out there. He's a monster. Say who he is.
He's a monster.
Jim Cox was the monster that took my best friend and my soulmate, and who I love dearly. I'm okay saying the monster's name. I'm not okay with saying people's names in general, but I'm okay with saying the monster's name because people need to know who the monsters are.
That's true. But he went by so many different names. His name was George Fernandez. But then he went by like a few different names that I found out.
Were they douchebaggy names?
I mean, kind of. But anyways, I do have to tell you, to lighten the mood, a funny story about when I was showing a house.
Please.
Okay.
I want to hear.
So one time I was showing a house to a husband and wife, which is a weird turn from our conversation, but I knew that it wasn't anything domestic violence that way. But I was showing a house to a husband and wife, and I've seen this on TikTok too, and I don't have the balls to do it on TikTok. But anyways, I was at a showing, and I had a husband and wife that I was showing a house to, and typically I ask them, okay, do you want me to walk you around, or do you want to look on the house look at the house yourself. And they said, okay, I want to look at the house myself. So usually I'm like, okay, I'll give them their distance. They're 6 feet because it's COVID. And I'm like, I'll be downstairs. So they're upstairs. And then all of a sudden I hear them arguing, and it got louder and it got louder. And it's the most awkward thing because you're sitting downstairs and you can hear this husband and wife like bickering. And it's like, isn't this supposed to be the next step in your life? It was supposed to be a funny story, but now that I say it out loud, I don't think that it's that funny of a story. But
I think it's kind of funny because it's like you brought them there to bring them some type of joy, right? You're like, oh, yay, they're about to hopefully find the next step in their relationship, the home that they are going to choose, their forever home. And then they're downstairs like, well, fuck you, no, fuck you, Miles, no, fuck you, Karen. And it's like,
I like how you use Karen. Karen is a good name to use.
but it's like, damn, I'm here to bring, because Brittany does. Let me tell you something. Being around her, you can be angry, and then you get her presence, and you're just like, ah.
Really? Because I don't feel like that.
Well,
But
that's how I feel when I'm with you. I tell you that all
okay,
the time,
good.
and you say that all the time.
Okay, good. Well, I try to like balance your Cancer, calm sense, because my son is a Cancer sign too. And it's funny because I sit next to him and I'm like, you're such like a little Carmen, because he's so persistent, which is funny because you're very persistent, but he's also very affectionate. Like he'll hug me so many times, and then he'll be like, I love you, mommy, and then he'll play with my hair, and then he'll be like, but I want my iPad now. And I'm like, oh, you're smart like that. So I know I just switched gears like that, but that was just like a
That's
story
okay.
to lighten the mood.
Let me tell you something. The
Go
show
ahead.
is Where Did I Put My Glasses? Do you think that we need to be on a timeline? No. It's like, how the fuck did I get here? We can be on a tangential turn the entire episode, because where the fuck did I put my fucking glasses?
Yeah.
Like,
Because life is so crazy. So first thing, I'm like, okay, I was going to talk about real estate and why I
we
got
still
there.
are.
And then I was like, no, I want the people to hear that, if they're experiencing any sort of like turmoil in their life, like mentally, like physically, like if it's from themselves or from another person, like I just feel like people don't have enough people to lean on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I try to bring in like the funniness of my son, because he's like such a mini you.
And he's a cool dude.
He's
He's
cool.
actually really a cool kid, guys. Like, kids aren't cool. But he's a cool kid.
I mean, I would agree. Like he likes like,
And I'm not saying that because he's a Cancer, guys. I'm saying it because he's actually a cool kid, and he's a Cancer.
yeah, he likes Outkast, and he likes Mos Def and Biggie Smalls and Tupac, and just anything I listened to when I was pregnant. So if you're pregnant right now, also make sure to listen to a lot of music, because not only did that calm me like at any point in my pregnancy, but it really correlates to when they're born. I really think that because I listen to so much music, he just is like obsessed with music. Like the minute he wakes up, he's like, I want to hear Doom, MF Doom. He's he passed away sadly, but he is a mostly an underground hip hop artist, but he's great. And yeah, he has some cuss words, but the first thing in the morning, he's like, I want to hear Doom. And then at night, it's like, I want to hear Beastie Boys or Outkast. And it's like, I think it really correlates from when I was pregnant. So introduce music to kids, because I think that it's really therapeutic. Because I used to, oh my God, Mariah Carey was my idol, is still. I have a butterfly tattoo. Did I tell you?
No, I didn't. And I don't know if I told you, I have butterflies all over my body.
What?
Butterflies mean new beginnings. And whenever there's a new beginning to my life, I add a new butterfly.
How many butterflies do you have?
Maybe about 10.
Oh, 10 new life journeys. That's awesome.
No, unfortunately, some of them are not life journeys that are great, and some of them are, but yeah, new life journeys.
But that's okay though. Like I think we view struggles or something that bad has happened in our life as something bad.
But
Like,
I will say,
period.
everything that has happened in my life with a negative, it has been received with a positive because I'm in alignment with my true self.
See? That's where you should just say, I have 10 butterflies for 10 different changes.
Oh, I like
Because,
that. Thank you. Remove that but.
yeah, remove that but. Like,
Last
they
episode,
may,
guys, we were talking
yes,
about removing that but.
yes, they may not have been the best of journeys or something that you went through that wasn't the best of things, but it's something that
However,
still changed your life.
exactly. However, it still changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I see Mariah Carey, because if anyone is a Mariah Carey fan, grew up in the 90s, early 90s, obviously,
Yes.
because I'm in my 30s, and she really was a big factor of my childhood. And I remember, because I was young and I had a tape cassette, I would put in
For
her.
you guys who don't know what tape cassettes are, they're these little things that had strings of
Yeah.
ribbon, and they recorded the actual things that we needed to hear or see, and it was like a little roller. Cute, vintage.
Maybe I'm thinking about so we would put the cassettes into. What was that called?
Cassette players. It was a
Cassette
little
players.
cassette players.
Okay. So I had a straight cassette player with headphones, and at
Mm-hmm.
night I would listen to the Mariah Carey Butterfly album.
That's a
Because
good one.
it had an A and a B, so you only got to listen to like 1 through 6 songs, and then you had to turn it over, and then you
Mm-hmm.
listened to the other, and then you had to rewind. You guys, you couldn't just go one button to like listen to the previous song. You had to literally rewind to your song.
Oh gosh. You know they call us, in the schools it's the late 1900s.
What?
Yeah. I want people to know that because I work in schools, it's literally the late 1900s.
That's so
Mm.
sad.
Yeah.
But
We're here
Mariah,
now.
oh, she was my shit. I would listen to her. I forgot why I brought this up, but I would listen. The butterfly tattoo. I would listen to her. Like, she pretty much, like, I wouldn't say raised me, obviously, but she was just my thing. And then as I got older, I read her book and I realized how she was raised, and she was raised not the best.
Yeah.
And she was told she wasn't, going to be anything. And I was never told I was going to be anything. Like, it was differences, obviously, but similarities in regards to like what you were told as a child, like how you seen love and what things represented to you. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I didn't realize, like, as a child she was so much to me because she was able to be there for me. And then when I read her as an adult, I read her life as an adult, it was reversed. Like, I read her childhood and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting a butterfly tattoo because she is an idol in my life of becoming who you're meant to be. And that's ultimately what your life should be like, right?
Exactly. And that's why, remember, I don't know if you remember on the last episode, you were saying that you really tune in to your clients and you want to get to know them and what inspires them and where they want to go. And that makes sense because if you don't know who they are, where they want to go, what their plans are for their life, get to know who they are truly inside. How can you find the best possible option for them to make their life better?
Exactly. Yeah, and it's like with anything, like I'm sure with your occupation, you have to know where they're at currently to be able to help them, right? So I don't think we've gotten to hear a little bit about like how you help kids.
Well, see, I work with kids and I work with children and adults, and I do get into it a little bit, but how I help them is by one, they already have their goals established when they come to me, except the adults. The adults, I establish the goals because they're coming in from the hospital setting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I am the person who I see where they're coming from, what happened, how did they get there, and what can I do to rehabilitate them in some way. And if I'm not able to rehabilitate them, what strategies I can put in place so that they can live their best
Mm-hmm.
life and improve their quality of life, right?
Yeah.
But with children, when I work with children, I am finding ways to build those foundational skills that they didn't have. And so I tell my students, think of yourself as a tree. If you do not have a strong foundation, your tree is going to fall over. But if we build that strong foundation, when you get to the leaves, it will be a breeze.
Oh my God, I love that.
And that's what we say. I'm like, all right, I let them know. My kids are able to know what their goals are, no matter their age. They know what they're working on. It may not be the actual way the goal is written, but they know what they're working on. They know their personal goal, right? They
Mm-hmm.
may know their goal that was set forth for them, but what's your personal goal? What are you trying to achieve out of this? And then what are we going to do to get to the leagues? So if you have a strong foundation, by the time you get to the leagues, it will be a breeze. And that's our goal, for life to be a little easier, the quality of life to be a little better. And so, yes, and we always work on our roses and thorns. And like I do with Tequila Tuesday, when I say, what are your roses, what are your thorns? I do that with my kids and with my adults. Because I'll come in today and, 100-year-old Nancy is over it. Nancy's not a real person, guys, just let you know. But Nancy might be like, my thorn today is I'm tired of eating this puree food. I'm tired of
Yeah.
it. You know? And what's my rose? Guess what? I didn't aspirate today while I was eating because I was able to use my strategy while I was swallowing. And those
Yeah.
things, they make me smile. They make me happy because your quality of life was improved just a tad bit. It may have not been a lot to most people, but for you, that little small gain.
Yeah.
That parent whose child just throws tantrums whenever they're hungry was able to take your finger and bring you to the refrigerator and point to their favorite applesauce without crying today. That's a small gain for me.
Yeah. I think that the biggest reason why I joined this company too, the Tom Brown Real Estate Company, is they started me off with asking, okay, well, what is your 5-year goals?
Mm,
And it kind of made me uncomfortable and it put me on the spot. And I'm like, I don't know, let's skip this question. They're like, no, we need to know.
mm.
And by taking something that seems so easy, it's so hard, and they're making me accountable, like, okay, no, we care about you. What are your goals? And we're going to keep you accountable. And it's like with any company, I think that that's a good foundation to realize, like, okay, where are you at currently and where do you want to be, because that's ultimately where we want to assist you with that. So
So
it's
it's that kind of what you do with your clients, not 5-year goals per se, but like, here we are now.
mm-hmm.
Where do you want to be?
I mean, I haven't asked that question, but I
Oh.
think I'm going to include that now. Well, I do ask them, but I don't ask them in the way of asking them, where do you want to be at in 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
I ask them what's important to them right now.
I like
So
that.
I focus on the present, but maybe I should include, it's like everything's a learning experience, everything's a journey, everything's growth. And I think that that's something I should include, because if I know that this home is not a forever home, then hey, let's buy you another house. But
Or it makes you look at how much they should be spending, because it's not a forever home. If it's not a forever home, why are we investing so much money? Because you may be using this just as a stepping stone. So
true, but if it's something that they want, they could also be appreciating more money too.
that's true. And I know, guys, I just said that I know nothing about it. That's why she's here. She's the expert. I'm just talking. I am learning with you guys. So,
And as I am learning with you on, your career and speech therapy, and so it's kind of cool. But I just
I
go
do
ahead.
have a question, and I don't mean to cut you off, and I meant to ask you that before.
Okay.
Now, you had said that you would go to lenders, and this is something that on the last episode, guys, she was saying that she would talk to the lenders and see where a person is. Now, does each brokerage or agency have certain lenders that they work with directly, or are your buyers able to come with their own lenders? Like, how does that work?
Great question, Carmen. So a lender can come from anywhere. Some buyers have lenders already, like my friend Carlos, his family friend lender, Linda Kessler, assisted him. We partner with David Hemmings. He's with Sierra Pacific Mortgage. He's in the same office as us. He closes transactions faster. He's easy to communicate to, and he works on Saturdays. Whereas other lenders aren't as available and they go on vacations. I do have a couple other lenders that I have worked with. But in simple terms, you can either come with a lender that you've worked with, or we will find you a lender. If the first one doesn't match what is working for you, then I go ahead and find another one to see what products or loans they can offer. So it kind of is just a case by case scenario.
Okay, because I wasn't really sure about like how that works, because like even though I know so many people who own homes, however, I've never really talked to anyone about the process. You know what I mean? That's why I'm
Yeah.
happy that you're here to explain that, because you never know really that process. Like, how do you find a lender? Like, where do you go? Like,
Yeah.
we know where to get a small business loan. We may know where to, may not, right? Because there's still people out there who are still learning. But
Right.
we may not know, like, how do you start the home journey?
Yeah.
And whether you should be in an area that has an HOA or not. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
A good agent is going to know at least 3 lenders that they can send you, is what I'm saying.
okay. Okay. So a person doesn't need to come to you with a lender. They just need to come with you with a goal.
Yes, I actually prefer when they don't have a lender, so I can see exactly what their goals are, and the lenders that I have used, I can assign them as need be, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's based on personal goals, finances, and things like that.
Finances, because every lender is going to have different services and different fees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I do have a question. HOAs. Whenever I hear those, because I've had friends who've had some scary shit when it comes to HOAs, and can you explain what HOA exactly mean? That I don't even know what HOA actually stands for. Do you know that?
So it's homeowners association.
So those motherfuckers sometimes, well, I'm not saying motherfuckers in a bad way, but I hear some bad things, and I haven't really heard too many good things. So what are the roses and thorns of an HOA?
That's a great question. So I actually live in a home that I own that is in an HOA. Okay. The positive about the one that I'm living in is that the HOA isn't that high. It's like $115.
Okay.
It is unfortunate that we have to pay that because we are ultimately paying for a landscaper. So we don't get a pool, we don't get utilities so 115, that's actually not too bad for an HOA.
Okay.
Compared to, let's say, a condo that has an HOA of like $430.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my area. It may be different in your area, or different areas within the United States, but other HOAs may cover trash and water utilities, which is kind of nice because then you don't have to worry about those utilities, and it may be cheaper. And that HOA is going to also include a pool, which is like the property that I just sold for my friend Carlos. His HOA is expensive. It's like $430, which you have to include.
Wait, is that a month or a year?
It's monthly.
Okay.
But when you think about it, you're eliminating your water and trash utilities.
Okay. Which can be pricey.
Mm-hmm. And you also get a pool.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, so the thorns in living in an HOA are obviously you have the HOA, the homeowners association that you have to pay monthly. And then you also have certain regulations. So some HOAs say, okay, we do not allow any pets. Okay, so you can't have any pets or you're going to get fined. Other HOAs have there's one HOA they call them CCs, rules and regulations, that said that you can't have certain things hung, you can't have a satellite, you can't have
grass a certain length, or like
they have extensive uh regulations that would result in fines. So
okay.
I always think it's very important, if your real estate agent is good, before you make an offer and even consider a property in an HOA, they will read through those CCs, those rules and regulations, to make sure you're completely comfortable. I wouldn't advise against purchasing in an HOA because, hey, I would love to live in an area where it has a pool where I can have access to it regularly. But I would read through it carefully, because if this person is a cat lover, and like absolute cat lover, like mother of all cats,
A
and
cat.
it says no cats are allowed on the premises, that
Perfect. I would,
person,
if I was the head of an HOA company, I would eliminate cat owners. Like, if you own a cat,
I
you
could
cannot.
only imagine the rules and regulations you would come up with. I would love to read that.
Everyone's home must have some sense of rose gold accessories.
Yes, or you'll get fined $50 per month every time you don't have that up. Yes.
Yeah.
Your rules and regulations would be actually amazing to read, because then I would be able to communicate to that to my clients, and I would just be laughing the whole time.
Absolutely ridiculousness.
Yeah, so there's like obviously, thorns to living in an HOA, and there's positives. It really, when it comes to home buying, right?
Mhm.
Whether it be condo, apartment, a primary, single residence, a multi-unit. A multi-unit means that there's multiple units on the property. So I could buy a home that also has a unit in the back that I can use as a rental. There's whatever
Your
in
goals are.
the goal. Yeah, whatever your goals are is going to change your financing, one, and two, your ultimate goals. So it really ultimately, whatever the client's goals are is what I ultimately go with. So if this person is like, I don't care what I buy, then I look at everything. I send them everything, because I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Don't get mad at me, guys, but I was told this by somebody that I really that I see as a mentor, and it's very true. Buyers are liars. And I shouldn't say that out loud, but I'm going to say it because it's true. And this can also be for myself if I were to purchase another home. Buyers are liars, because they'll say that they want something and then they'll change their mind, or they want something different. So that's why I just send them everything, especially with this competitive market. You're going to get whatever I send you, and you're going to tell me whether you like it or not. So it depends. It's case by case scenario.
And it could be due to indecisiveness, because I'm indecisive. I may come in and be like, I want this, 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 and this, and you show me, like, I was kidding, maybe this. So
one time I showed a house that had cockroaches. Yeah, they didn't disclose that. They're supposed to. They didn't disclose that. And could you imagine how horrible it was for us to walk in and be like, that? In that case, I was like, you know what? If you want this property, you can make an offer, but I will say that they're going to pay for a pest inspection.
I'm not paying for no damn pest. No, hell no. Let me tell you something. My mother was so crazy. My mother was crazy, and I talk about this a lot on the podcast. My mother, if she knew a person had roaches, first of all, she didn't even really like me going to their house.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely had to go to your house because I was stubborn and I really like being around you. You know, my mother would make me strip at the door
Mm-mm.
and put the clothes in the bag and then come to the house because she'll say roaches travel. And if
Mm-hmm.
she knew somebody actively had roaches, you won't bring them to my house.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing about cockroaches. You know, they are able to survive a nuclear bomb. Them bitches are here to stay. They are here to motherfucking stay.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, don't bring them shits here. No ma'am. No ma'am.
That is crazy. They have
They
there's
are
solutions.
abominable. I don't know if I
Revolution.
said that right. Did I say it right?
I don't know. I think so.
I don't know. That was crazy. I would have died. I would have been, ooh, get me out of here, please. I would have took my clothes off at my car and riding in my car with my bra and panties.
Burn. Burn, clothes, burn.
So what is your career plan? Like,
oh man.
what is it? You didn't tell us.
If anybody has been listening this far, I applaud you because I feel like I'm boring. But it's hard to say. Like, I ultimately want to just leave this earth knowing that I was the best mom that I can be, the best friend that I can be, the best lover that I can be, the best sister, the best, daughter, just ultimately changing lives. And it's not really just a career thing. It's more of just
Your
like
legacy.
a thing.
Legacy.
Just a thing. Yeah.
Your legacy.
Yeah.
Who you are. Brittany Wise's legacy.
Even if it was something small, even if it was like, hey, Brittany made me realize that, like, maybe I should start, treating myself, or maybe, Brittany made me realize that, like, I should be working out 3 times a week, or maybe Brittany realized, like, it could be little things, big things. Like, I don't care what it is. I just want to change your life, bitch.
That needs to be a t-shirt. I just want to change your life, bitch. That needs to be a motherfucking t-shirt.
Oh, I'm gonna make one, because that's ultimately, like, it's funny because people are always like, okay, why do you do real estate? It has to be because of the money. It's like, obviously this is my career, this is my job. I need to
for people to say that it's odd,
afford my shelter, things for my home, like for my son. But ultimately, I do real estate because why you do something is one thing. But why you continue to do it is another thing. So why I do it, obviously the money. 2, why I continue is because I ultimately want to change that feeling of seeing someone get the keys and know that their life is going to completely change is the best feeling I've ever had in my life, I will say.
I believe you. I'm not a real estate agent, but I can see the look on someone's face knowing they are covered. They are sheltered. Yeah. They have a home.
Yeah. And the past few clients that I've had are first-time buyers. And I'm like, damn, like, they don't realize, like, it's not just, and I always say this, and if anyone steals it, I'm going to sue. No, I'm kidding. No.
California's litigious, guys.
I always say this, being a homeowner is not just a title, it's a feeling, because it is. And they may not experience it within the first day of getting the keys, but once that, like, first week goes away and they, like, are living in that home, that feeling of, like, I did it. Like, I did it. Because it's a lot of work, but hit me up and I'll help you. I feel like we, like, talked about so many things. Anyways, I hope this resonated with somebody.
It does, and it will. It will. And I feel like I know I've learned a lot, and it has helped me tremendously because I'm always struggling whether I want to buy, whether I want to rent. And I'm not sure if I'm going to stay in the Bay. I love the Bay, and I really feel like this will be my home forever area. So at least I have a little bit more knowledge of what I should be doing. I believe people got a lot from these 2 episodes. 1, how to align themselves with their purpose and align themselves with their goals and how to manifest. If they need someone to lean on to talk to, they got us.
I like the fact that we touched on domestic violence because I feel
Yeah.
like we both have a strong point in that, and I will have to talk more on outside of this, but like on like a deeper level of our past, because I feel like you've gone through stuff that I don't know.
I have, and I've been
If you're
and you'll
comfortable.
figure out with Miles cancers with crabs. So we have a hard shell, and you can know us for 150 years and still be like, yo, who the fuck is this person? Like, like I like you, but who are you? And that's the way we are. And we are definitely going to talk a little bit outside of this. But guys, if you need a realtor, no matter if it's international or around the United States on the Central Coast, who do you call?
Me, Brittany Wise, the wise choice.
Yes. And where do they go?
Realtor.BrittanyWise at either on IG, Facebook. You can message Carmen. She's gonna tag me. You can message me, like anything. It could be like spiritual, just questions about life, like anything.
I'm definitely going to make sure I tag her, guys, so you can which one. And I'm going to have her on a Tequila Tuesday, so that way if you have any questions or comments, anything, you can talk to her about that. And speaking of Tequila Tuesday, don't forget that tomorrow is Tequila Tuesdays on Instagram Live. I want you to bring your tequila, preferably Casamigos, but if you drink whatever, drink it, I guess.
I thought it was Tuesdays.
But come join us. And me and my friends, we are going to share some hot topics, talk about some hot topics, some hot tea and laughter. And don't forget to share Where Did I Put My Glasses with your family and friends. Click follow or subscribe on your preferred podcasting platforms to stay updated on the latest episodes. And give me 5 stars, guys, because I know you want to.
5 stars.
Also, thank you, 5 stars. Also, go to wheredidiputmyglasses.com for information on me, the latest episodes, and to make suggestions for future shows and to sign up to be on our email list. And as I talked about earlier, you can go to indiraskincare.com. Every purchase of the Rose formula will be contributing to our community by helping women and people who are oppressed and are dealing with any difficulties or any inequalities or injustices in this world. To interact with me directly, go to Instagram or Facebook at Where Did I Put My Glasses for your thoughts, questions, or comments on today's episode. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Britt.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Have a great night.
You too. Bye, everybody.